A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. I'm Ritwika Gupta. As part of our special National Nutrition Week coverage, we bring you two interesting conversations today focusing on how Indian wellness brands are innovating across fitness, nutrition and lifestyle to build holistic and accessible health solutions. In the first segment, we get chatting with Akshay Verma, co-founder of Fitpass, to understand nutrition's role in fitness. And in the second segment, we feature Parul Sharma, founder and CEO Gladful, to discuss her protein-rich breakfast brand for children. Akshay, welcome to ET Now Leaders of Tomorrow. It's a pleasure to be chatting with you today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, Akshay, I want to begin by talking about India's wellness ecosystem. Despite there being a growing health consciousness in the country, India's wellness industry is still very much underpenetrated. I think it's less than 1% penetrated. So, where are the biggest challenges, the barriers, and also the biggest untapped opportunities?
Okay, that's a very good question because obviously everyone understands that India is a very young country, right, with the youngest population in the world with an average age of, I think, 28.8 years now in 2025. Yet we carry all these titles of being the diabetic capital of the world, the hypertensive capital of the world, on path to being the obesity capital of the world. But 2/3 of the population is below 35. Mm-hmm. That is a population that has not yet fallen prey to preventable lifestyle diseases, right? Preventable. So these guys understand it's preventable. Preventable by what? By exercise and by nutrition. Mm-hmm. So that is where the opportunity lies. Why is it underpenetrated? Because I think this is a market where equilibrium has not been attained. There is a lot of supply, a lot of infrastructure, mm-hmm. but in basic economics, supply and demand have to intersect.
Sure.
And the equilibrium point is called price.
Right.
So I think there is such an unequal pricing structure in the market where gyms, etc., want you to pay for the whole year upfront, right, and then sort of hope that you don't come. So where the consumer is not king. So in a market where one side has a lot of power and the other does not, there is no equilibrium. So penetration, etc., can only happen when the market attains equilibrium, for which price is a concern, or the pricing structure is a concern. That is what we at Fitpass are solving. So I think penetration will increase as we move towards consumer becoming a king, and the market automatically moves towards an equilibrium price point and equilibrium structure.
Sure. So for all the entrepreneurs watching our show today, Akshay, you have had a commendable journey. Tell me, what has been your approach to building a profitable business, without aggressive VC burn?
Okay, this is... So what we've done for the last decade, I don't think I can summarize in 10 seconds, but I think where I can tell you where I draw inspiration. So in my mindset, I believe I'm an athlete. I used to play at various competitive levels, state, university, etc. I think building a company requires something similar. There will be a lot of scars you will carry, a lot of decisions that don't go in your favor, but you have to accept them and then still move on. So perseverance and following the process will be key.
Sure.
I think it is very important for any entrepreneur to identify what they are solving and what the future trends look like. It is not about what today's consumption looks like. Mm-hmm. It is the bet is how it will evolve over the next decade. And once it evolves, what will it take to be sticky? Because when we started Fitpass in 2015, India was solving for roti kapda makan. And I genuinely mean that, because in roti there was no big food tech player at that time. Sure. There were multiple names that you may not remember today. So Zomato, Swiggy are the names we know. Yeah. But there was Food Panda, Fasos, Tiny Owl, a bunch of these guys. In kapda there were many fashion e-tailers, Jabong, Myntra, many of these guys. Yes. In makan there was Housing, Makan, Common Floor, Magic Bricks, 99 Acres. So right. India was solving that. We were trying to tell India to please become fit. But our thesis was not that fitness was priority at that time. Mm-hmm. Our understanding was that if India has to become a $5 trillion economy or a superpower, it will be driven through consumption. So this demographic dividend will start paying off as their disposable income increases. What happens when that happens is you start taking care of yourself. You realize health is wealth.
Right.
As the youngest nation, you can't fall sick, because if you fall sick, you buy medicines, you don't buy consumer goods. And what you see in the West is that an aging population also realizes that if you want a higher quality of life, you have to take care of yourself, so they invest in their strength and their nutrition.
Sure.
So we saw this as an evergreen business 10 years ago. Today, people talk to us as if that we had first mover advantage. We saw, and I keep telling people that actually the first person through the door in the army gets shot. So first mover advantage doesn't always come to you. You actually have to take a bet, educate the market, and then monetize the market.
Right. So tell us, what is the mission and overall vision for Fitpass 360?
Fitpass 360 is essentially a combination of everything we believe, all the pillars that any individual needs to be fit, to feel good and stay well, which are physical activity, because physical activity now is being attributed by the WHO as the biggest killer. The inactivity. Nutrition is a major pillar.
Sure.
Because nothing works without nutrition. And then obviously emotional support and wellness, as if what we mean is doctor consults, and if you do fall ill, then you need medical guidance. So these four things get combined in Fitpass 360. So you have one subscription where you can access a network of 8,000 gyms and fitness studios across the country. So stay active as you want. You have an AI fitness coach. You have virtual classes from 4,000 global studios. So now, no matter how you want to be active, at home or at a gym, that is covered. We have a nutritionist who get attached to you. So you're able to track your meals, log your meals, get your meal plans made every day. Talk to them as much as you want, video call, voice call. So nutrition is taken care of. These guys marry each other, your activity levels and your nutrition levels, and vice versa.
Right. Akshay, we're also having this conversation in line with National Nutrition Week, and you spoke about nutrition quite a bit. So, when we speak of nutrition, it is often overshadowed by fitness in mainstream discourse. Tell me, how do you think businesses, or maybe, just the ecosystem, can better integrate nutrition into, the ecosystem better, along with fitness as well?
So what you're saying is what we really believe, because since the very beginning, when we launched in 1st of January 2016, our app came out. 2017, 1st of January, we launched our nutrition services, because like 10 years ago, we understood that fitness and nutrition have to go hand in hand. They don't work in silos. And a lot of Indian players are offering everything in silos. There are a lot of players who only offer nutrition. A lot of players are only trying to solve exercise or activity.
Sure.
And ultimately, what a human body needs, like even in your class 4 textbook, it told you that good health is a state of physical and mental well-being, and a balanced diet is key to both.
Sure.
So we knew this in class 4, right? When we were like, 9, 10 years of age.
Yeah.
But we forget. And I don't think all our ancient wisdom also talks about nutrition, eating right, eating on time.
Yeah.
You eat at sunrise and stop by sunset, which is almost equivalent to saying intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Right? So we knew all of this, but we forgot. So we inherently believe that they have to be married. How will it get integrated? I think awareness is important. I think people know this.
So, Akshay, there's a wave in the D2C sector, when it comes to healthy snacks and supplements. And here on the show as well, we've spoken to so many players, who are now into healthy wafers, healthy yogurt, healthy ice creams. I want to know your take on that. And are there plans for Fitpass to also, integrate or collaborate with such services in the near future?
It's a great question. And yes, Fitpass, we're planning to launch our own D2C food nutrition brand, a uniquely Indian clean label brand. But we believe that ancient tradition, there's a lot of ancient wisdom in India that was lost. And those are the foods that we want to bring back, but redefined, reimagined in a 2.0 manner, because the basic foods exist. What is it that now works for Gen Z, for millennials, and for parents for their babies? So
Sure.
That is what we're going to do. Is there a wave? Yes, there is a wave. A lot of people are talking about healthy, but I truly feel a lot of people are positioning a better for you alternative.
Right.
Is it healthy or not? That still remains questionable.
Right, but you're also stepping into the D2C sector with fitness equipment.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about that?
Yes. So essentially we have a very strong distribution base. We have 8,100 gyms and fitness studios in our network. We welcomed 4.2 million new members last year. So one thing we realized was that fitness is also a big aspiration outside of tier 1 cities where homes are larger, right? And maybe the gym assets are not as beautiful and big as they are in a Mumbai or a Delhi or a Bangalore. All of those guys want to get fit.
Yep.
All of them want the best equipment. So, and we realize that there is also a market in the Gen Zs in these tier 1s. The only problem is that they live in smaller spaces.
Right.
So we created these smartly engineered, very high quality products. The brand is called Stoga. We just launched it on Yoga Day, 18th of June. And we've come up with these very finely crafted, stylish yoga mats that fold into maybe your purse or your laptop bag.
Nice.
So it's space saving. It's called origami. So, and then we have these adjustable dumbbells, a lot of strength line, accessories line. So the idea is to help people with equipment that is versatile, adapt. Same to what Fitpass's philosophy is, that everything should work on your own terms. So as you grow on your journey, as you evolve, the equipment helps you evolve. So the same dumbbell can go from 3 kilos to 24 kilos with a single hand adjustment.
Right. So, Akshay, as we are wrapping up this discussion, from what I understood, it is going to be a confluence of fitness, nutrition, mental health, technology, that will sort of shape up India's wellness ecosystem. But tell me, for some of the entrepreneurs who are watching our show, some of the small businesses, startup founders who want to make a mark in India's wellness ecosystem, what is that one advice you would like to give them?
I think this is a great time to be in this ecosystem because fitness and wellness, although fitness is not categorized as an industry by the government, I think it soon will be. And maybe for very small entrepreneurs, government schemes might start coming, which will enable them to participate more. But overall, this is one segment that has to grow. It is destined to grow. It is an evergreen business, right? People will always invest in themselves, right? As we were a growing economy, travel was one way of enriching yourself. Eating better food is one way of enriching yourself. And slowly you realize that your body is your temple, your mind needs to be stable. And as you go on that path of being a developed economy, becoming a superpower, this is what people will invest in.
Right.
So I think it is a good time to start.
Fantastic. It was lovely chatting with you, Akshay. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. In this segment, my colleague Hrishita Kumar brings you a conversation with Parul Sharma, founder and CEO Gladful, on how she's addressing everyday nutrition gaps in Indian households.
Hello Parul, thank you so much for joining us on Leaders of Tomorrow.
Glad to be here.
Now let's start from the beginning. Why the name Gladful and what's the story behind the brand?
We wanted a name that captured exactly the feeling I had when I gave my kids a very good meal, a nutritious meal. And we really wanted to capture that feeling because we wanted people to feel the same way. So we really added 2 words. It's as simple as that. We added glad and grateful together, and that made Gladful. The brand was born out of a personal realization when I used to take my kids to the pediatrician and they kept on falling sick again and again. One of the key themes that was identified was lack of nutrition in daily meals, which also included lack of protein. So I wanted to make life easier for parents like me. Wanted to make sure that nutrition and protein shouldn't be so difficult for parents to get. So we started working on culturally relevant formats. And in this mission, I also had the support of Manu, who's my brother and co-founder, who joined me in this mission. So the idea was to really bring together traditional ingredients along with modern food science, work together with mother community as well as nutritionists and build Gladful, which really is something that we feed our kids every day and we are proud of.
Now, Parul, the UN's 2025 State of Food Security and Nutrition report says that 18.7% of Indian children under 5 suffer from wasting. How can businesses help tackle this?
It's not just a statistic, is actually a national crisis, right? And while the government is addressing the issue at scale, businesses like ours can move fast. We can innovate fast and make nutrition part of the daily life rather than just an intervention based program. At Gladful, we are focusing on creating everyday meals which are clean and protein rich from locally sourced millets, legumes, and nuts, ingredients that Indian families truly trust. By keeping them affordable, tasty, easy to prepare, we are actually removing the biggest barriers to consistent nutrition. And the thing is, nutrition needs to be there every day, right? It is not something that you can take once or follow once when you're falling ill. Indian parents are actually realizing that the first 1,000 days are absolutely important for the child's immunity and growth. And if they follow it and if they ask more from the ecosystem, the food ecosystem in the longer run will change. I think it's a great time to be a purpose-driven brand and work together with policymakers, communities, so that we can really work towards, removing that 18% malnutrition number in the country and preventing it altogether.
Now, since you just mentioned policymakers, how can government schemes like Poshan Abhiyan empower brands like yours and improve India's nutrition landscape?
I think Poshan Abhiyan is a start. It's a great start by the Indian government. It can be a game changer and it can be at the forefront of public health policy in India. What's powerful about it is that it doesn't just focus on treating malnutrition, but it aims to prevent it through a combination of awareness-led and behavioral changes and access to better food, right? So I like the focus on really building the awareness around it, because only if parents and homemakers start questioning, they're more aware, they ask more about the food that they eat, the overall food ecosystem truly changes. For brands like Gladful, I think there are 2, 3 ways we can, work together with the government and, really deliver via Poshan Abhiyan program. One is private-public partnerships. So the government already has reach from Anganwadis to midday meals, etc. But often the government also needs support in terms of product innovation, development, etc.
Well, as a D2C brand in the unpredictable FMCG space, what are the key opportunities and challenges that you face?
I think the beauty and the challenge of being a D2C brand in the CPG sector is speed. We can spot trends early, we can innovate quickly, we can really speak directly to the consumer, get feedback without having the middle layers at all, right? So speed is our strength. But at the same time, the flip side is that FMCG is unpredictable, consumer preferences change, the cost of commodities as well as digital media is increasing day by day. So as a young brand, we have to truly balance it out. We have to grow with keeping sustainability in mind. And we don't want to burn out ourselves or our resources for short-term wins. The opportunity truly lies in the fact that Indian consumers today are much more aware. They're much more experimental in nature than ever. And today, if you deliver on quality, transparency, talk to them through the journey, build your brand authentically, then you have an ability to really connect with true consumers and build a strong community. I do believe that there is never a better time than today to be building a new brand, solving new challenges in India today. It comes with its challenges of unpredictability, though.
Well, Parul, with Nutramilk, you're stepping into the healthy drink space. What gap are you aiming to fill with this launch?
See, actually, if you look at most milk mixes in the country, first of all, we are amongst the largest nations who consumes milk, right? Milk is not going anywhere as far as our consumption patterns are concerned. However, typically you see from the age of 3.5 to 4, that early, there are milk mixes being used. And most of these milk mixes in India are built on the same formula: high amount of refined sugar, then fillers like maltodextrin, sugar, alcohols, and whatnot. And really, there's a lot of, I would say, there's a very little sprinkle of nutrients, but used heavily in marketing. We truly wanted to flip that. As parents, we realized that while the category is massive, the actual nutrition need is truly not being served. And it's really detrimental to our kids' health in the long run. I mean, this amount of refined sugar early in the morning is going to give them nothing but glucose spikes throughout the day. So with Nutramilk, what we really wanted to do is truly build kind of bridge the nutrition gap by offering a clean, nutrition-dense alternative.
Now, as a plant-based protein brand, how do you build awareness and reach Tier 2 and 3 markets?
Actually, Tier 2 and Tier 3 are incredibly important for us because that's where the biggest nutrition gap is today. It's the widest. And but also where trust and habits are deeply rooted already, right? It's very hard to bring behavior change there. So our approach is really twofold. First, make plant-based protein familiar, make it in formats which are culturally relevant. Homemakers truly understand the format. It's easy for them to adapt. And then secondly, make sure it's accessible and affordable. So we localize the communication so that it connects with everyday life. If you look at our communication, it's really things being made in the kitchen on a daily basis. We talk about sprouts, we talk about millets, dals, rather than abstract nutrition jargon, which does not relate to the Tier 2, Tier 3 crowd. We try and make it simpler for them. Secondly, we've started, partnering with mom communities and hopefully schools very soon to create awareness where families already interact and make food decisions. And from the distribution side, we're expanding beyond D2C. We're already now present on quick commerce, going to about 100 cities. And of course, e-commerce with Amazon, we're there in about 100, 120 cities already. And we're expanding our reach offline. The plans are to do that in the coming quarters. So we're doing all to make sure that the product is affordable, accessible, and culturally relevant to Tier 2 and Tier 3. Along with the efforts on sampling to make it really acceptable to people.
Now, Parul, as we celebrate National Nutrition Week, help us understand how do you see the future of nutrition in India and what role can businesses like yours play in shaping it?
I think the next 5 to 8 years are going to be extremely important as far as the nutrition game in India is concerned. The future of nutrition will be defined by two big pillars, I think. One is, of course, awareness, and the other is access. Awareness and we love the fact that there's just so much talk about it online. Digital media is spreading its legs. People in Tier 2 towns are starting to talk about what is good for them, what is bad for them, what are the choices they're making for their kids. So it's great conversation, and I think it should just only increase. We want parents to realize how important the first 1,000 days are for the growth and immunity of their children. The foundations are truly built in the first 3 years, and it can only be changed if everyday choices are full of nutrition rather than just intervention.
That was an extremely insightful conversation, Parul. Thank you so much for joining us on Leaders of Tomorrow.
Thanks for giving the opportunity. Bye-bye.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. We hope you enjoyed the conversations. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.